Episode 153, Which AI Thinks Best? Understanding How LLMs Reason.
The primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful.
AI is a golden opportunity.
How do we ensure that this technology is regulated?
The long arc of technological history is now in an extraordinary new phase.
The AI6 podcast with Joanne Sweeney.
Not all artificial intelligence models think the same way. In fact, none of them really think at all. But they do simulate different styles of reasoning, deduction, induction, abduction, and that affects how they respond, what they're good at, and also when they fall apart. So if you've ever wondered which model you should be using, I'm going to break them down and explain them all for you. Hello and welcome back to AI6, the podcast that teaches you AI in just 6 minutes a day. In today's show, I'm going straight into the science of AI reasoning. It's not human reasoning, it's AI reasoning. Because if you're using AI tools, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, or something else, and you're not getting the results you want, it might not be the prompt, it might be the model. So first of all, what is AI reasoning? Well, there are 3 main types of reasoning in logic and decision making. The first is deductive reasoning. So that starts with a general rule and applies it to a specific case. For example, all EU countries follow GDPR. Ireland is in the EU, therefore Ireland follows GDPR. Inductive reasoning. This looks at a number of examples, it identifies a pattern, and then it makes a generalization. For example, every time I launch a campaign on LinkedIn, I get better engagement than on X. So maybe my audience prefers LinkedIn. And then we have abductive reasoning. This one's about best guesses. So you've got incomplete information. You make the most likely inference. For example, it's what doctors do when they diagnose symptoms, or what an LLM does when you ask it to explain why your sales dropped last quarter. So the best models can do all 3 types of reasoning, but not equally well, and not always reliably. So let's have a look at some of the main large language models. If you want to have a look at the comparison table that I've created for this episode, go ahead and jump over to the blog post at publicsectormarketingpros.com. So let's start with ChatGPT 4o. This is an all-rounder reasoning model. It's got strong logic, it's good at following structured prompts, it can also generalize, and probably it's the best at abductive reasoning. Claude 3 by Anthropic. This one has been described by some commentators as the ethical advisor of all LLMs. It's really good at nuanced thinking, pulling together complex information, and it also avoids overconfidence, which we do not like from ChatGPT. Then we have Gemini 1.5 from Google. This one is very strong on multimedia. So if you're working with video, audio, or images, this is worth testing. I use Gemini a lot when I'm looking for videos and audio to include in this podcast, and it works really well for me. Its reasoning is pretty good, but of course, it relies heavily on what Google does best, fast answers with a factual tone. Then we have Llama 3 from Meta. This is open source. It's quite popular with developers, of course. It has okay logic, but use cases vary because it depends how it's fine-tuned. Then we have Grok from xAI, built by Elon Musk's team. I mean, it's quite punchy. It definitely presents in a different way to the other large language models. It is fast and it is sharp. Then we have Perplexity. I really enjoy Perplexity. Again, it's one that I really use for research because it curates and indexes the sources extremely well. and it pulls in real-time information from the website. So its reasoning is grounded on what it finds from its sources. Then we have Microsoft Copilot. So as you will appreciate, it's a Microsoft LLM, and of course, Microsoft owns and operates Excel, Outlook, or Word. So this is really good as a co-worker or as a co-pilot, as the name suggests. Its reasoning is tuned for business logic, workflows, emails, and of course, our PowerPoint presentations. We have GPT-5 coming this summer, apparently, from all the rumours, coming to ChatGPT. So what can we expect? Well, better multi-step reasoning. It should follow your logic more clearly across long interactions. It will have stronger memory, meaning it can carry context over time, remember your style, your tone, and your goals. It's hoped that it will have fewer hallucinations, so maybe we can trust it more. And the tool will be part of its core, so it's not a bolt-on, but it will be embedded into search, into coding, and into looking up information in documents. And it's intended to be better at RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, and I have an episode on that from about 5 or 6 episodes ago. Pulling in your own data, not just what it was trained on. So GPT-5, it's expected will be less like a chatbot and more like a strategic assistant. So of course, I'm looking forward to testing it when it arrives, and I'll let you know what I think. So remember, when you're using large language models, think about the reasoning model that you're using. Think about the large language option that you choose depending on what task you're doing. If you enjoyed this show, please share it with a pro that you know. I'm Joanne Sweeney. I will be back tomorrow with more on the AI6 podcast.